Aging doesn't have to mean slowing down, fading away, or becoming irrelevant. Some men don't just get older, they get better. They stay strong, sharp, and full of life well into their 90s and beyond. They refuse to follow the script that says aging means weakness, decline, or stepping aside. Instead, they age on their own terms. So, what's their secret? Is it genetics? Luck? Some mysterious anti-aging formula? Not quite. The men who age like legends, the ones who live well, stay sharp, and keep going long after most have slowed down, follow certain principles. And today, we're breaking down 7 badass lessons from men who defied the stereotypes of aging. These are real-life lessons from men who proved that getting older doesn't mean getting weaker. It just means getting smarter about how you live. By the end of this, you'll have a roadmap for aging on your own terms, with strength, confidence, and a whole lot of wisdom. So, if you're ready to ditch the old-school ideas of aging and learn how to keep living like a badass, no matter what age is on your driver's license, stick around. Let's get into it. Lesson 1. Keep moving or start rusting. You don't stop moving because you get old. You get old because you stop moving. If there's one thing that separates men who thrive in their 90s from those who struggle, it's this. They never stop moving. They don't sit around waiting for life to happen. They don't spend all day in a recliner watching time slip by. They walk, swim, lift weights, stretch. They stay in motion because they know movement is medicine. And here's the brutal truth. The moment you stop challenging your body, it starts to break down. Muscle loss, joint stiffness, balance issues, heart problems. Most of the things people blame on aging are actually caused by inactivity. And the longer you stay still, the harder it is to get moving again. Why movement is the ultimate anti-aging hack. Every long-living, high-energy older man has one thing in common. They keep their bodies in motion. Walking keeps the heart strong and the joints moving. Stretching keeps flexibility and prevents injuries. Strength training prevents muscle loss and keeps bones strong. Balance exercises reduce fall risk and keep coordination sharp. Even if you slow down, the key is to never stop completely. The men who stay independent the longest aren't the ones who had the best genes. They're the ones who refuse to let their bodies sit idle. How to apply it in your own life? The good news: you don't have to train like an athlete to stay strong. You just have to keep moving every single day. Walk every day, even just 10 to 15 minutes. Walking isn't just good for your heart and muscles, it keeps your brain sharp too. If a long walk feels like too much, start small. 5 minutes today, 10 minutes next week, just keep going. Stretch like your life depends on it, because it does. Flexibility isn't just about touching your toes, it's about preventing injuries and keeping mobility. Simple morning stretches, yoga, or even just standing up and moving every hour can keep stiffness away. Find an activity you love that keeps you active. The secret to staying active is enjoying what you do. Some guys love golf, others prefer swimming, dancing, martial arts, biking, or hiking. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it gets you moving. The men who age like badasses aren't the ones who sit back and let time take its toll. They fight back, they keep moving, they refuse to slow down. And because of that, they don't just live longer, they live better. So the question is, are you going to keep moving, or are you going to start rusting? Lesson 2. Eat like you give a damn. Your body is either a temple or a junkyard, your choice. Men who live well into their 90s don't eat like teenagers. They're not surviving on fast food, drinking soda by the gallon, or pretending that beer and chips count as a balanced meal. They know better. Because here's the thing, what you put into your body determines what you get out of it. If you fill yourself with junk, Don't be surprised when your energy disappears, your joints ache, and your body starts breaking down faster than it should. Now, does this mean you have to live on kale smoothies and never touch a burger again? Absolutely not. The men who age well don't follow extreme diets or obsess over every bite they eat. They just eat like they actually care about their future. And that's what separates them from the guys who start falling apart way before they should. By the time most men hit their 60s and beyond, they start noticing changes. They don't recover as quickly. Their strength isn't what it used to be. Their energy dips in the middle of the day. And a lot of them just accept it, thinking, well, that's just aging. But here's the truth. Most of these so-called aging problems are actually diet problems. Muscle loss? That's what happens when you don't get enough protein. Chronic aches and inflammation? Sugar and processed food are fueling that. Brain fog and fatigue? Dehydration and nutrient deficiencies are often the culprits. The men who stay sharp, strong, and active well into old age aren't eating perfect diets, but they prioritize the right things. They focus on balance, consistency, and real food. How to eat like a man who's going to live. Past 90, aging like a badass doesn't mean counting calories or obsessing over every meal. It just means making smarter choices, ones that keep you strong, energized, and mentally sharp. Prioritize protein, because muscle doesn't stick around on its own. Here's the deal. After 40, your body starts breaking down muscle faster than it builds it. And if you don't do something about it, by the time you hit 70, you'll start feeling weaker. Not because of age, but because you didn't fuel your muscles properly. That's why protein is non-negotiable. If you're not eating enough, you're losing muscle, plain and simple. And that means less strength, more falls, slower recovery, and a faster trip to dependence. So load up on lean meats, eggs, fish, beans, and nuts. If you're not getting protein with every meal, you're doing yourself a disservice. Cut back on processed junk, because inflammation is your worst enemy. Most guys don't think about inflammation, but it's one of the biggest killers of vitality. It makes your joints ache, drains your energy, and speeds up the aging process in ways you don't even realize. And what fuels inflammation? Sugar and ultra-processed foods? No, you don't have to quit all sugar forever. But if most of your meals come from a box, a drive-through, or a package loaded with chemicals, your body is paying the price. Try swapping some of that junk for real food. Fresh vegetables, whole grains, healthy fats. If you can't pronounce half the ingredients on the label, your body doesn't want it. Hydrate, like your life depends on it, because it does. Here's something most guys overlook. Dehydration ages you faster than time itself. You might not feel thirsty, but if you're not drinking enough water, your body is suffering. Your skin gets drier, your joints get stiffer, your brain gets foggier, and your energy disappears. Most people walk around chronically dehydrated and don't even know it. If you want to feel sharper, move better, and have more energy, drink more water. It's the easiest fix in the world. The men who stay strong, sharp, and independent into their 90s aren't out here eating like college kids. They aren't drinking 6 sodas a day and pretending that their body will just figure it out. They treat food like fuel. They make sure they're getting enough protein, avoiding the junk that wears them down, and staying hydrated, because they know that what they eat today determines how they feel tomorrow. So ask yourself, are you feeding your body for longevity, or are you setting yourself up for decline? Now, let's move on to the next lesson. Lesson 3. Keep your mind sharp. Use your brain, or it will use you. If there's one thing men who live past 90 understand, it's that a strong body is nothing without a sharp mind. Some of the sharpest guys in their 90s don't just sit back and let time dull their thinking. They stay curious, engaged, and mentally active. They never stop learning, questioning, and challenging themselves. Because here's the harsh truth: your brain will either stay sharp or start slipping, and that choice is largely up to you. The dangerous myth about mental decline. A lot of people assume that memory loss and cognitive decline are just part of aging, that your brain just slows down and there's nothing you can do about it. That's complete nonsense. Sure, your brain changes as you age, but the guys who stay sharp into their 90s prove one thing over and over: mental decline is not inevitable. It happens when you stop using your brain the way you used to. Think about it. When you were younger, your mind was constantly engaged. You were learning new things, solving problems, debating ideas, making decisions. Then, for a lot of men, life slows down. Retirement kicks in. Routines become repetitive. The brain stops getting challenged. And what happens when you stop using a muscle? It weakens. How to keep your brain razor sharp at any age? The good news: you don't have to accept mental decline as part of aging. If you keep your brain active and engaged, it will stay sharp, focused, and strong, well into old age. So, how do you do that? Read something new every day. The men who stay mentally sharp into their 90s read constantly. Books, newspapers, articles. It doesn't matter what it is, as long as it challenges their mind. Reading keeps your comprehension skills, memory, and ability to process information strong. It forces your brain to think critically and absorb new ideas. If you're not a big reader, start small. A chapter a day. A few articles on topics that interest you. Even listening to audiobooks counts. Anything that keeps your brain engaged. Play chess, do puzzles, learn a language. Keep your brain working. Your brain loves a challenge. It thrives on problems to solve, patterns to recognize, and new skills to master. Some of the longest-living, sharpest men play chess, do crossword puzzles, or pick up new hobbies that require strategy and focus. Why? Because when you force your brain to think, plan, and strategize, it strengthens the connections that keep your memory and problem-solving skills intact. Try it yourself. Play chess, Sudoku, or memory games. Learn a new language, even just a few words a day. Try playing an instrument or mastering a new skill. Your brain is designed to keep learning. If you don't give it something to do, it will start shutting down parts of itself that you're not using. Stay curious. Never assume you know it. The men who stay sharp well into their 90s have one thing in common. They never stop asking questions. They stay engaged in conversations. They challenge their own opinions. They explore new ideas. They refuse to become mentally stagnant. The moment you think you've got it all figured out is the moment your brain stops growing. Instead, have discussions that challenge your thinking. Surround yourself with people who have different opinions and experiences. Stay curious about the world. There's always more to learn. The bottom line: men who live well into their 90s don't let their minds coast. They actively work to stay sharp, stay engaged, and keep learning. Because they know that the moment you stop using your brain, it starts using you. But keeping your mind sharp isn't just about reading, thinking, or solving puzzles. It's also about attitude. The men who live the longest and happiest lives have something else in common. They don't take life too seriously. Lesson 4. Have a damn good time. If you're not laughing, you're not living. If there's one thing the coolest old men have in common, it's that they don't take life too seriously. They're not the guys sitting around complaining about everything. They're not obsessing over the past or stressing about the future. They laugh. A lot. And here's the thing. That's not just a personality trait. It's a survival strategy. Why fun and laughter keep you young? Ever notice how some older guys seem lighthearted, full of energy, and just fun to be around, while others look permanently annoyed at everything? The difference isn't just luck or genetics, it's a choice. Studies show that laughter doesn't just make you feel good, it actually keeps you young at a biological level. It reduces stress hormones that contribute to disease, boosts immunity, helping your body fight illness, increases circulation, which is great for your heart, releases endorphins, making you feel happier and more energized, and if that's not enough, happy, fun-loving people tend to live longer. So if you want to age like a badass, learning to enjoy life isn't optional, it's essential. How to make fun a priority in your life. Some men naturally have a playful, easygoing attitude. Others have to relearn how to have fun. If you've spent years grinding away at work, dealing with responsibilities, and keeping everything serious, you might have forgotten how to just let go and enjoy life. Here's how to change that. 1. Watch comedy, tell bad jokes, be playful. Think about it. When was the last time you laughed so hard you couldn't breathe? If you can't remember, that's a problem. Laughter isn't just something that happens, it's something you create. So go out of your way to watch a funny movie, tell a ridiculous joke, or just embrace the silliness in life. Some of the happiest older men don't care if their jokes are corny. They'll tell them anyway. Why? Because it's not about impressing people, it's about keeping a sense of joy alive. So start laughing more. Watch stand-up comedy, read funny books, or just find ways to be goofy. 2. Surround yourself with positive fun. People, have you ever noticed how some people suck the energy out of a room while others make everything more fun? That's because attitude is contagious. If you surround yourself with bitter, negative people, you'll start feeling the same way. But if you spend time with people who know how to enjoy life, you'll naturally start having more fun too. If your current social circle is full of complainers, it might be time to branch out. Find people who lift you up, make you laugh, and remind you that life is still worth enjoying. 3. Enjoy life. Don't waste time being bitter, angry, or overly serious. Here's the truth. Anger, bitterness, and resentment will age you faster than time itself. Sure, bad things happen. People disappoint you. The world isn't always fair, but holding on to negativity doesn't punish anyone except yourself. The men who live the longest and happiest lives learn to let go of things they can't control. They don't waste energy being mad at the world. Instead, they focus on what makes them feel alive, and that's why they keep flirting, joking, dancing, and enjoying the hell out of life. Even if they're terrible dancers, they'll still get up and move, because they know that joy isn't about looking cool, it's about feeling good. The bottom line, if you're not having fun, you're not really living. The men who age like legends aren't sitting around waiting for life to pass them by. They're laughing, enjoying themselves, and making every moment count. So ask yourself, are you taking life too seriously, or are you making time for joy? Now, let's move on to the next lesson. Lesson 5. Stay social, even when you don't feel like it. A man alone is a man at risk. You can be the toughest, most independent guy in the world, but if you shut yourself off from others, you're putting your health and your happiness on the line. The men who age well don't let their world shrink. They stay connected to friends, to family, to their communities. They know that strong relationships aren't just nice to have, they're essential. And science backs this up. Studies show that men with strong social connections live longer, stay sharper, and are less likely to suffer from depression, anxiety, or cognitive decline. Meanwhile, isolation does the opposite. It increases the risk of heart disease, weakens the immune system, and speeds up both physical and mental decline. The problem? A lot of men struggle with this as they get older. Friends move away, family gets busy, Social circles get smaller, and before you know it, the days start feeling a little too quiet. That's why staying social needs to be a priority, even when you don't feel like it. Why isolation is a slow killer. It's easy to think, I'm fine on my own. I don't need anyone. And sure, solitude can be great, but too much of it can be dangerous. When you start spending too much time alone, a few things happen. You lose mental sharpness because you're not engaging in conversation. Your motivation drops. There's no one around to push you or inspire you. Your world gets smaller, and over time, you start feeling disconnected, forgotten, or even invisible. The worst part? It happens gradually. You might not notice it at first, but months or years down the line, you realize that your social life has disappeared. But here's the good news. You can rebuild it. You just have to take the first step. How to stay social, even if you're not a people person. Not every guy is an extrovert. Some men love socializing, while others would rather avoid small talk and big crowds. That's fine. Staying social doesn't mean forcing yourself into uncomfortable situations. It just means finding the right kind of connection for you. 1. Call or visit someone. Every week, if you do nothing else, make this a habit. Call an old friend, visit a family member, meet someone for coffee. Just one meaningful interaction a week keeps you engaged and connected. Even if it feels awkward at first, do it anyway, because the more you withdraw, the harder it gets to reconnect later. 2. Join a group, book club, fitness class, poker night, whatever works. If your old social circles have shrunk, build new ones. Find a group that aligns with your interests. It could be a book club if you love reading, a fitness class if you want to stay active, a poker night, fishing club, or local hobby group. Anything that gets you around like-minded people. The best friendships aren't forced. They happen naturally through shared interests. 3. If you hate small talk, find people who like what you like. Not everyone loves casual chit-chat. If small talk makes you cringe, find people who share your passions. Join an online forum about a topic you love. Start a project or club that brings like-minded people together. Connect through activities rather than conversation. The key is to find connection in a way that feels natural to you. The men who age the best don't isolate themselves. They keep in touch, make an effort, and stay involved in life. Because at the end of the day, your relationships matter more than you think. So ask yourself, are you staying connected, or are you letting your world shrink? Now, let's move on to the next lesson. Lesson 6. Adapt or become obsolete. The world doesn't stop changing, so why should you? One of the biggest differences between men who stay sharp and engaged well into their 90s and those who get left behind is adaptability. Some men embrace change, while others fight it every step of the way. And guess what? The ones who resist change are the ones who struggle the most. The badass older men? They don't waste their energy complaining about how things used to be. They roll with the punches. They learn new things, stay curious, and refuse to let the world pass them by. They may not love every new trend or piece of technology, but they don't fear it either. They figure it out, they make it work for them, and they stay engaged in life. Then there's the other group, the men who dig their heels in and refuse to change. They reject anything new, dismiss modern ways of thinking, and cling to the past like it's the only thing that ever mattered. Over time, they stop being able to relate to the world around them. They feel left out of conversations, disconnected from younger generations, and increasingly frustrated. And before they know it, they've made themselves obsolete. Here's the truth. Adaptability is one of the most important skills for aging well. It's what keeps your mind sharp, your relationships strong, and your daily life interesting. The men who live the longest and happiest lives are the ones who accept that change is inevitable and learn to move with it instead of against it. Think about the sharpest older men you know, the ones who still have energy, a sense of humor, and a presence that commands respect. They don't spend their days reminiscing about the past and refusing to learn anything new. They stay curious. They ask questions. They explore new ideas. They might not love everything about modern life, but they engage with it anyway. This mindset isn't just about staying relevant, it's about staying young. Research shows that people who continue to learn and adapt as they age have better cognitive function, lower rates of depression, and a stronger sense of purpose. On the other hand, those who resist change are more likely to experience mental decline, isolation, and frustration. The difference is clear. The more you keep learning, the better your brain works. The more you shut yourself off, the faster everything starts to slow down. So, what does this actually look like in daily life? First, it means being willing to learn new things, even when they seem frustrating at first. Maybe it's trying out a new piece of technology, figuring out how to stream a movie instead of using a DVD, or finally learning how to send a damn text message without having to squint at the screen for 5 minutes. It's not about mastering everything. It's about keeping an open mind and not letting new things intimidate you. It also means staying physically and mentally flexible. Some men get rigid in both body and mind as they age. They stop stretching, they stop exercising, and they stop exposing themselves to new ideas. And before they know it, they've become stiff, both physically and mentally. But the men who stay strong and sharp, they stay loose, they keep moving, they stay open to different perspectives, even if they don't always agree. They challenge themselves to think in new ways instead of just repeating the same ideas they've had for decades. And maybe most importantly, it means letting go of the past and making the most of the present. There's nothing wrong with nostalgia. Looking back on good memories is part of life. But living in the past? That's a trap. The men who age well appreciate what came before, but they don't let it stop them from experiencing what's happening now. They don't dismiss everything new just because it's different. They find things to enjoy in the present instead of constantly wishing they could turn back time. The world isn't going to slow down for anyone. You can either keep moving forward, learning, and adapting, or you can get left behind. The choice is yours. Now, let's move on to our final lesson. Why having something to live for is the ultimate key to longevity. Lesson 7. Have a reason to wake up in the morning. Purpose is the real fountain of youth. If you look at men who live well into their 90s with energy, strength, and a sense of presence, there's one thing they all have in common. They have a reason to wake up in the morning. They don't just drift through their days, killing time, waiting for life to happen. They have something that gets them out of bed, something that excites them, something that makes them feel like they still matter. It could be a hobby, a passion, a project, or a role that gives them meaning. Because here's the hard truth. Without purpose, you fade. You see it all the time. A man retires after working for decades, and at first, it feels great. No deadlines, no meetings, no responsibilities. But then, slowly, the structure disappears. The reason to get up early vanishes. The sense of accomplishment, of progress, of being needed, it's gone. Days start to blur together. Motivation drops. And before long, he's not the same man he used to be. But the men who live well past 90 with their minds and bodies intact, they never let that happen. Retirement isn't an end to them. It's an opportunity. They find new things to focus on. They keep setting goals. They keep learning, creating, and contributing. Because the moment you stop looking forward to something, you start moving backward. Why purpose keeps you alive? Science backs this up. Studies show that people who have a strong sense of purpose live longer, have lower rates of disease, and stay mentally sharper as they age. Purpose literally protects your brain and body. It keeps your mind engaged, your energy levels high, and your sense of identity strong. It gives you a reason to stay active, to keep learning, to maintain relationships, and to take care of yourself. And that's exactly why men who age well always have something they're working toward. They know that the second they stop setting goals, stop chasing dreams, stop feeling useful, they start fading away. How to keep purpose alive as you age. Purpose doesn't have to mean some grand mission. It doesn't mean working full-time or chasing fame. It just means having something in your life that feels meaningful. For some men, that means mentoring younger generations, passing down wisdom and experience. Others throw themselves into art, music, writing, woodworking, anything that challenges them creatively. Some dedicate their time to volunteering, coaching, or contributing to their community. Whatever it is, it has to be something that matters to you. And if you don't know what that is yet, that's okay. Start small. Wake up every day with a goal, no matter how small. It could be finishing a book, improving a skill, working on a project, or simply taking care of yourself. Goals keep you moving forward. They give your days structure and momentum. And never, never let yourself believe that the best days are behind you. Because the men who live the longest, the ones who stay strong and sharp and fully alive until the very end, never stop dreaming. They never stop looking forward. They don't sit around talking about the past like it's the only part of life that mattered. They know that as long as they're here, there's still more to do, more to experience, more to become. The future isn't over yet, and the question isn't, what have you done? It's, what's next? Before we wrap up, I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you're looking forward to? Whether it's a new hobby, a project, or just something small that brings you joy, drop a comment below and let's talk about it. And if you're enjoying this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps support the channel and lets me know you want more videos like this. Now, let's go over everything we've learned and talk about how to apply these lessons to your own life. Aging like a badass isn't about luck, it's about choices. Keep moving, eat smart, stay sharp, laugh often, stay connected, embrace change, wake up with purpose. The men who age well, stay strong, and keep living fully aren't the ones who had the easiest road. They're the ones who made the right choices, day after day, year after year. And here's the best part. It's never too late to start. No matter where you are in life, you can still make changes, build new habits, and create a future that excites you. So, which of these lessons speaks to you the most? Drop a comment below and let's talk about it. Now, before you go, I've got another video you need to watch. If you're serious about staying sharp, independent, and in control as you age, check out How to Stay Independent After 70 and Never Be Forced into a Nursing Home. In that video, I break down exactly what it takes to keep your freedom, stay in your own home, and never feel trapped by aging. If you're thinking about the future, this is the video you can't afford to miss. Click on it now, and I'll see you there.